everybody, it's Jean here from Truelove Quilts for You. No tutorial today. I'm extending an invitation to you folks. Only you folks probably who live within an hour of me. What I'm talking about is on Friday, May the 10th, this coming Friday, Jen and I will be at a quilt show. And that quilt show is held in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is the little brochure I got. And it's from the Mancuso Show Management, proudly presenting Quilt Fest in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, May 9th to the 11th, 2019. That is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This coming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 10 a.m. The doors open till 6 p.m. The quilt show is going to be held at the Wyndham Lancaster Resort and Convention Center. That's W-Y-N-D-H-A-M, Wyndham Lancaster. It's newly renovated, and the address is 2300 Lincoln Highway East, Lancaster, PA, 17602, off of Route 30. And it was formerly the Lancaster Host Resort and Conference Center. You have seen, if you've been following along with me, you have seen me video different quilt shows. And I must admit that when I'm filming, I have my little handy dandy camera, my little Canon camera there. It's really a good little camera. I'm going very slowly, I think. I'm like really trying to be slow. And even when I get the video back, when I go to edit it, it's sort of quick. So the trick is, unless I had expert equipment, which of course I don't, I really have to go slow to make so that you can see these magnificent works of art in all their glory. I'm going to try to do that. So I might have a couple videos. Jen and I, short, fat Jean, tall, thin Jen, will be there. So if you see us, if you want to come and see us and say hello, we would love to say hello, get pictures taken, have a chat. That's so exciting for Jen and I. We just go and enjoy the as I say, these works of art. But there's a special thing this time. I was so thrilled. Back, and I'll tell you the little story. Of course, you'll have I tell you the story. Don't like my stories? Click off. Back in January, I had just finished making my quilt, my foundation piece quilt, Cheryl My Elephant, the big elephant with the sunset in the background. I had just finished that, and I was thrilled. I was thrilled because it was an in-depth project, which I thought would take me ages and ages, and it took me a while to make, but I was very, very proud of it, very proud of it. Elliot collaborated. He was awesome, so it was a joint effort with my Elliot and I finished my lovely quilt. Very, very pleased with it. Well, Jen came. Jen is like, oh my word, you have to enter that in a quilt show. And I said, nah. And so many of you are like, oh, you have to enter your quilt in the quilt shows. And I'm not searching for compliments. I'm really not, because I think my quilts are awesome. I do. I'm very, very proud of my quilts. I would think at this point I'm an experienced quilter. No, by no means an expert. And the reason I say that is because I make really pretty quilts. I'm very proud of my quilts. Show quality. And the reason I say that, you people, you quilters, you ladies who have been, or you gentlemen who have been to these quilt shows, you understand that the caliber of the masterpieces of these works of art that belong in a museum. I'm an experienced quilter, expert if you will, and I'm looking at some of these quilts. I don't have a clue where they began. Even their thought process. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, I don't know how they imagined that, let alone executed it. Unbelievable. Now my Cheryl the Elephant is so pretty, but it's been made by experienced quilters hundreds of times. Go on Pinterest, you'll see Cheryl my elephant. There's purple ones and gray ones and green ones and multicolored ones. I made a red one, a hot pink one. I put a different background on it, put my spin on it, but she's been done to death. But these works of art that are stratospheric, that are out of this world, I'm thinking, my quilt's lovely. But I friend come into my front room where Cheryl, my elephant, was laying. I was admiring her. I had her for sale, then I took her off. I was admiring it. And a friend of a friend of a friend who came, who is a quilter, and she went, oh, because it's very striking. It's very pretty. She said, oh my word. And I'm like, yeah. I said, my friend wants me to put it in a quilt show. And she said, oh, you must. And I'm like, and she said, Jean, your quilt is relatable. And I thought, you're right. My quilt is relatable. You guys can make this quilt. Now, perhaps many of you guys could make the best of show quilts. I certainly can't. No way. No way in a million years. I don't know if I want to spend 2 years on a quilt, or 9 or 10 months. I don't know if I want to spend, stitch 300 stitches to an inch. It's shocking the amount of work and the energy and the time and the love and the passion that goes into these masterpieces. You saw me make Cheryl my elephant. I'm like, I made it and it was done, right? And but I thought, oh, that's so nice, relatable. And I thought, yeah. So back in January or February, for whenever it was, I to this show, I sent my entry form. And it's a juried show. It has to be, your photographs, which my photographs are nice, high quality, have to be judged and assessed to see if they'll even accept you into the quilt show. And you have to spend, I think it was $25 that you have to pay. Way back when. Well, about 3 weeks ago, I got an email. Completely forgot I entered my quilt. I completely forgot. Seriously. I got an email from Mancuso saying in the next few days you'll be receiving a letter in the mail, in the post, either accepting or not accepting your entry for your quilt, for my Cheryl my elephant. So I'm like, oh, I forgot I had even said it. So I'm like, every day. So I got 2 days later, I get the letter. I'm like, oh, the letter's over there. Oh, I was accepted. I was accepted into the quilt show. So they gave me instructions on what to do, and I actually filmed me making Cheryl my elephant ready for the quilt show, blah, blah, blah. That will come when I video when we video going there. So that's just a little heads up. My quilt will be hanging in amongst, my quilt's the Volkswagen, hanging in amongst the Maseratis and the Lamborghinis. But I'm still in the same parking lot. I'm like thrilled. So yeah, my relatable quilt, because you guys could make my quilt. There's a pattern out there. These other people, oh my word, it's like the Mona Lisa. I don't get it. And it was funny. But I went to my first quilt show again. I don't want to go waffle on. Of course I want to waffle on. I waffle on. I went to my first quilt show way back when, maybe 13, 14 years ago, and I went to about 4 of them. And my husband took me. And I was a beginner quilter. Oh, excuse me. I was a beginner quilter. And long story, even longer, I was discouraged. I really was. I thought, I'm making my little 4 patches and my little 9 patches and my little raw edge applique. And I'm thinking my quilts are wonderful. Then I go to a quilt show and I got more and more discouraged. And I thought, oh, so I stopped. I personally stopped. I couldn't relate to the majority of quilts as a beginner. I got discouraged. Now maybe that was just me, but my husband even, and my kids who had been going with me, and they're like, Mom, what you do is wonderful. But I felt it wasn't wonderful. Like, are you kidding me? So I stopped going to quilt shows. I stopped going to quilt shows for about 4, 5, 6 years. And that's not to say I didn't admire these, or I was covetous, or I was jealous, or I was envious. Those things didn't enter my mind. It was just my ability that I thought, oh, no. And maybe I was in a wrong frame of mind. Because then I thought, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to admire these things. It's like going to a museum. and you see a work of art, and all you can do is doodle. You appreciate that. And I was in a better frame of mind. So now when I go to these quilt shows, I just stand in awe. And like, well done, you guys who do this. You who have the time and the energy and the passion and the stick-to-itiveness. I don't. I'm not going to spend 9 months or a year working on a quilt. I'm not doing that. And my quilts are pretty. And my quilt was accepted into the show. So I will be boring you with my video of me, hopefully we can see it, standing by my quilt. That's to come. So Jen was all excited. She's like, oh, I told you so. Because I texted her immediately and she says, I told you so. So I'm really thrilled. Just the fact that I was accepted. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know perhaps if you followed my journey with Cheryl my elephant, you can say, ooh, I knew that when it was a mess on her sewing table. And there it is, hanging up in a nice quilt show. So I will be at Wyndham Center, Wyndham Lancaster, on the 10th, the Friday. So come and see us. Come and see Cheryl my elephant if you can in person. And then I'll be taking some videos and taking you a tour of the quilt show, which I know some of you enjoy. And I'll try to go real slow and make it enjoyable for you. So Jen and I will be there or be square. All right, folks, see you later. Thanks for everything. Bye.